Today we're going to show you how to change the Icemaker Shut-Off Arm on your refrigerator. And it's a really easy job. All you're going to need is a 1/4-inch nut driver, a Phillips screwdriver, and a pair of needle nose pliers. Let me show you how we do it. Now before we begin this repair, the first thing we'll need to do is to disconnect the power. So we'll have to pull the refrigerator far enough forward that we can disconnect the cord from the receptacle. Now next we're going to open the freezer. We're going to have to remove all of the items that are in the freezer. So we'll begin with this model by lifting out the basket. And we'll set that aside. We'll also remove the 2 screws that secure the front to the rails. Just the short Phillips screw. That will allow us to lift up on the door and disengage the hooks at the back. And then we can set that somewhere safe. We can now push the rails back out of the way. And we're going to slide the upper drawer out and lift up on it, and we'll set that aside. Next we'll remove a single screw from beneath the ice maker, and then we're going to loosen 2 more that hold it to the side wall. Now, you don't need to remove those screws completely, just loosen them enough. Then we can lift up on the ice maker, disengage that from those 2 screws. We can depress the locking tabs on the wire harness and disconnect it from the back wall. Now we can set the ice maker on a suitable work surface and we can change the shut-off arm. Now with the ice maker on a suitable work surface, we'll need to remove the cover, and it's just held in place with plastic tabs. So normally just pulling forward on it will pop it off. Or if you need to, just get in underneath the bottom of it there. There's a couple of slots, and pry that off. Now with the cover removed, we're next going to remove 2 Phillips screws that are recessed in the front. And completely loosen both of those screws. Now we can pull the ice maker head away from the body of it. And as we do that, we're going to disengage this side rail and the center armature. We need to loosen the wire harness a bit to get the last bit out. And once you've got it out far enough to remove that center armature, that will allow you to pop the rear fill cup out. Once you've got that out, you can rotate that around and slide it off the end of the shut-off arm. If need be, use your pliers to pop it through. Set that down. Now the front of the arm, where it engages a cam inside of the ice maker head, we'll need to carefully pull that out. And again, you can use your pliers. Pop that out. Now to install the new shut-off arm, we'll start by hooking it into the fill cup first. So snap that onto the short bend on that shut-off arm. And then we're going to engage the long bend in the front. Just push it firmly into place. Next we're going to set that cup into position at the back. We need to put the hub portion of it through the opening in the ice maker, flex that tab, and hook that over the back. Next we'll put the discharge chute on the side. It has a couple of tabs at the front, one that will hook the front of the ice maker, and a tab at the back that will engage a little notch in the back of the mold as well. So we need to make sure both of those tabs are engaged properly. Now we're holding that to the mold. We'll take the eject lever, and it has a D-shaped shaft on the front that will only fit one way into the ice maker head. So rotate it until it will slide into the ice maker head. And we can lower it down. Slowly pushing that mold towards the head line up the rear of that eject lever so that it fits through the opening in the cup. Make sure everything lined up, and then we can tighten those 2 Phillips screws again. Now, once you've secured those 2 screws, just check the operation of that shut-off arm. It should stay in a horizontal position, which is the off position, and then it should flow freely in the on position. Now we can put the cover back on the Icemaker head, and you'll note that there are 4 tabs that will engage 4 slotted openings in that housing. So once you've got them up over top of them, just snap it into place. And now we're ready to reinstall the Icemaker in the refrigerator. So we begin by connecting the wire harness to the rear panel. We'll make sure that the fill tube goes securely into the fill cup. We'll lift those slotted portions on the side over the 2 1/4-inch screws. Then we'll tighten those up. And then we'll put the remaining 1/4-inch screw in the bottom. Next, we'll reassemble the drawers. We'll slide the upper drawer into the channel. Just lift up on it as you're pushing it back. Then we'll put the drawer front on. To do that, we will pull the rails out so they're fully extended. And then we need to make sure that the 2 hooks on the end go down into those slotted openings. And then the 2 tabs up closer will sit on the front ones. Now once it's dropped down into place, we'll reinstall the 2 Phillips screws. This will secure the drawer front to the rails. And then we can drop the lower basket into place. And then pull that basket forward until it locks into place. There's a detent on both sides that match up with a tab on the basket. Now we're ready to plug the power back in, and our repair is complete.